And just settle, roll your head or turn your head from side to side. And just flatten a couple of pelvic tilts, just moving the lower back. And then relax. But moving the head side to side, I just wanted to retouch on that. The connects into the vagus nerve, and when we're stressed and go into fight or flight mode, the blood in the neck, there's a slight shut-off where it keeps the blood in the body for emergency. But then when we reconnect to everything again, the blood doesn't necessarily reconnect properly to the head. So moving the neck, and there's another neck exercise as well, which I might do further on, which is really helpful to reconnect into that vagal pathway or that vagal tone. And then just stretch one leg and then the other leg out. Just wobble your feet, sway your feet from side to side. Toes up to the ceiling and toes away from the ceiling. Breathing in, toes up, and breathing out, toes away. And a couple of times in your own breath pattern. And this is part of a very comprehensive series called Pawanastana. Pawa means the wings, moving the wings through the system, the energies in other words, and then start to circle the ankles in one direction. And it's part of some opening sequences, really iconic, for anti-rheumatic, where you get stiffness in the joints. Of course, it boosts the circulation as well. And then just very gently circle the ankles in the opposite direction. So this particular ankle movement, you'll find in all exercises for travelling, we should do. And then just release, relax the legs out to the side. Once more, turn the head from side, back to the centre, and again to the side again. And then breathing in, extend the right heel and raise the right arm above you. Stretch it out. Breathing out, turn the head to the left and lower the left shoulder away from the ear if it is up. And just enjoy that stretch on the right side. Breathing in. When you're ready, bring the head back to the centre. And breathing out, lower the right arm and totally relax the right arm and the right leg. And then focus on the left side, extending the left heel. Bend the left elbow to your limit. If it's not great, bent, keep it bent. Or keep your hand on the waist, extending the left arm up to where it suits you. Stretching if that works, and then turning the head to the right. Lowering the right shoulder away from the ears. Stretching out onto the arm, so it's the upper lymphatic system. And then breathing in, roll the head, turn the head back to center. And breathing out, just lower the left arm. Relax the left foot. And then very gently bend one knee and then bend the other, both feet are on the ground. Maybe have the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And starting to let the knees sway from side to side. You'll lift one hip off the ground, both hips connect to the ground, and then the other hip lifts off the ground. The back of the head will start to join in, gently moving from side to side. And just go with your natural flow of the back of the head. It might go towards the knees, it might go away from the knees. Massaging across the lower back, really onto the top of the bottom. The back, I've said this many times, takes time to relax. It doesn't just suddenly let go. The body's got to feel very safe. Very gently come back to the centre with the knees and perhaps adjust the feet to being comfortable. And then leaving the elbows on the floor, just raise the hands up slightly and stretch the fingers up to the sky, and breathing out, point the fingers gently towards the floor. And a couple of times to your own breath pattern. Fingers up and fingers away. And then gently begin to circle the wrists in one direction. You're relaxing the elbows, the backs of the arms on the mat. And then circle in the opposite direction. And then release the hands back down to the ground. And again, a couple of pelvic tilts. The anti-rheumatic warm-ups become particularly important at certain times. It's always at the change of the seasons. But in high summer, if you have a pitta element to your constitution, and all of us do, all of us here today do, then a high pitta and the height of the summer leads to a tendency to flare-ups, heat and inflammation, which could be, I was thinking about this as well, just to tie into your arms soon, but that's just like a slight overload and flare-up. And again, with any inflammation or flare-up, going to vigorous exercise isn't helpful. So everything has to be very gentle to bring the inflammation down. Then just very gently hug one knee and then the other knee into the chest. And just rock slightly from side to side. Now, whether you rock right down onto the back of your elbow, back of your arm. That's up to you, or you can keep it to a minimal rock. So we're connecting into the somatic movement, the sensory aspect. You might feel as on the back of the head, as the back of the skull is supported by the earth. It's a spiraling movement, it's an oscillation movement, which connects back into nature and energy. Everything grows in coils and spirals. And so it's viewed as very much a fluid movement, breaking both physical and emotional patterns that might be set, but within a very safe space. You're also massaging across the back, the top of your bottom and the lower part of the back. And then come into hugging both knees into the chest. Place the right foot on the floor and really hug the left knee into the chest, circling the left knee a couple of times in one direction. And this is focusing on the joints again. The joints are very prone to rheumatic aspects, stiffness and arthritis. Circle the left knee in the opposite direction. And then hugging the knee into the chest, extend the right leg along the ground. And if you have a bolster to hand, and if you want to use it, roll your entire body to the right, and your bolster might support you. You can have a double layer if you want to. Might support you underneath the left knee, inner knee. Your left hand stays on your left waist, opening up the left shoulder. If that's not right for you, or you want to do have a different arm movement, you can raise the left arm above you, just resting the back of the hand on the ground. It's an option. And your right hand is just resting on the outer side of your left thigh. And your head is relaxed. It can look up, your eyes can be open or closed. And again, to get into this movement, you can extend your right heel and then just relax it, just to feel that you're stretching the body out. So any kind of rotational movement that this is realigning for the spine. You can feel on the left side that bend in the left, at the hip and the left knee is creating space at the lower back. You're opening up onto the arm on the left side, so the upper lymphatic system. A pose that seemingly does nothing, and yet it underneath does quite a lot. And again, it's that balance between the back won't relax instantly. It needs quite a few breaths to begin to get into the pose. You've got an aspect of freeing the left hip up as well. And then when you're ready, roll onto your back again. And to even yourself out, bend both knees, both feet are on, hands are on the ground, both feet are on the ground, and just lift your bottom and just straighten it out. Knees up to the ceiling, a little sway of the knees from side to side. And if you wanted to use your bolster, then move the bolster from the right side to the left side. And then leaving the left foot where it is, hug the right knee to the chest. And again, we're just focusing on the right hip here as we circle the right knee a few times in one direction. And then circle the right knee a few times in the opposite direction. And then hugging the right knee into the chest, extend the left leg along the ground. And when you're ready, roll the entire body to the left, using the bolster or cushion as a support if you need to. Perhaps start with your right hand on your right waist, and if you want to go higher, then raise your right elbow, opening up under the right arm. Although even resting the hand on the waist is opening up under the arm. Left hand is on the outer right thigh. Eyes open or closed, although closed is quite relaxing. It helps to slow the brain waves down from beta to a lower operating brain wave, so theta or delta. Perhaps it won't go quite as low as that. And just enjoy the stretch on the opposite side. Remember that you can extend your left heel if you need to just open everything out and then just relax. Space is now created on the right side of the hip. You're giving space for the ribs here on the right side. Everything is opening up on the right side. And then very gently think about coming out of that by rolling onto the back. Bending both knees, both feet on the floor, and feel that you're straightening yourself up. Sway both knees from side to side. And then leaving the right foot where it is, hugging the left knee into the chest. And this very familiar version of Apanasana, as you hold the left knee, let it drift to arm's length. And then hug the knee back into the chest. And a few times in your own breath pattern. And then dropping the hands to underneath the left thigh, just extend the left leg up to the ceiling and extend the left heel. Really feel the back of the left leg, there's a pull of muscles if there's any stiffness there. And then you can start to walk the hands up the back of the left leg. This time keep your head on the ground, no effort. So my hands are stopping just actually below the knee, or worst onto the top of the calf. And then just bend the left knee, still holding the left leg underneath the thigh. And then just very gently set the left foot onto the ground. Focus now on the right side as you hug the right knee into the chest. And again, here the same thing, hugging the knee into the chest. And as you breathe out, just let the knee drift away. Your own breath pattern. And then when you're ready, drop the hands underneath the right thigh and very gently extend the right leg. You can always keep a bend in the knee. If you want to extend your right heel, you'll really feel this stretch all the way along the back of the right leg. And then bending the right knee into the chest. Hug the right knee into the chest, the left knee into the chest. And once more, just very gently rock from side to side. And then we're going to think about rolling to the side and coming in our own time onto hands and knees. Not leaving the ground, but just coming one stage up from the floor. That's the problem. As lovely as the floor is, you can start to get stiff.
Oh yes, that's so.
So
I could have stepped there the whole time.
So it's just
Fall asleep.
fall asleep. Oh gosh. So it's just yes, it's just that balance. And then on hands and knees, just sway the bottom from side to side. So pick up this oscillating movement. You're almost wagging your tailbone if you were a dog. Then coming to all fours. And some classic dipping the back, looking forwards and up. And breathing out, rounding the back, chin comes to the chest. And we're going to do this a few times, very slowly, mobilizing the back. Restful for the heart. The heart is parallel to the ground. As you next round chin to chest, bring your bottom towards your heels and elbows come onto the ground. And then scoot forward, dipping your back, dipping your chin almost, back up to tabletop. Round the back, chin to chest, bottom goes towards the heels. Elbows can either touch the ground or go towards the ground as you scoot back to tabletop. And one last time, rounding chin to chest. Bottom towards the heels. And here, stretch out your arms. You can put your bottom high into puppy pose, elbows on the ground if you prefer this. I've got my elbows on the ground, my bottom's quite high. Now leaning back, just stretching out the upper back. And then very gently slide your hands back to tabletop again. And as you sway your hips to the left, look over your right shoulder. Head and hips come back to the centre and sway your hips slightly to the right as you look over your left shoulder. And a couple of times to your own breath pattern, swaying very subtly from side to side. And then tucking the toes, stretching out under the toes for lungs. We're going to come to standing for a brief period, but come to standing how you want to. So if you want to come via downward dog, and I know it doesn't suit you, Sue, come into via downward dog, lengthening the spine, walking the dog by bending one knee and bending the other knee. And then walking when you're ready, your hands to your feet to your hands. And beginning to roll up vertebra by vertebra, standing. Pressing the feet down, rolling up, and coming to standing. Lifting and rolling your shoulders. So where are you on your hand and arm movement?
Let's see. Just do whatever, and I'll
Can
just
you do that movement?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, do whatever you want to, and if I can do it, I will. If not, then I'll improvise. Don't worry. Thank you.
So just come to swaying from side to side. All the energies are now being involved. And then just come to slowing down. Lifting and rolling the shoulders. And chin to chest. Head goes to one side. You can open your arm or do the bit that you wanted to do. It was an arm up, wasn't it? Just opening the neck. And then coming upright and coming the ear to the other shoulder, chin to chest, and opening the other arm out, or to soften it, bring your hand up. And then coming upright. Hands on the waist. And just gently sway your hula hoop. Swirling energy around the lower abdominal area. As you come round to the right side, it's supposed to be quite good for the liver. And then swaying the other side, the other way. And then coming still with the hands on the waist, we're opening out under the arms, breathing in, head goes to the left, centre, and then head goes to the right. Centre, into the left, and head goes to the left, and out to the right, and come to the centre. And then release the arms, lift and roll one shoulder, lift and roll the other shoulder, roll the shoulder forward, the other shoulder forward, and lift and roll both shoulders back. And then hands on the waist, just soften the knees and just feel the lower abdominal area engage just by softening the knees, and then come to standing again. And then hands together at the heart center. We're going to do some half salutes to the sun, but you move your arms as little as much as you like. So soften the knees, circle the arms up, palms together. Come down through the center, soften the knees. Come to bring the hands onto the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And then breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in, stretch the arms up, stretch the fingers, and then just circle the wrists down. Just shake the hands, shaking the energy, stagnant energy out of the body metaphorically. And then again, hands to the heart. Soften the knees, circle the hands up, palms meet, come through the center. Bend the knees, slide the hands onto the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, soften in. Half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. And then soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Hands up, stretching. Join the thumbs and just sway side to side. Lateral stretching. And then come to the center. Lower the hands. Bring left hand to the navel, right hand onto the waist. Stand tall as you breathe in, and as you breathe out, turn your whole body to look over your right shoulder, so it's a rotation. Stay here for an in and an out breath. And then breathing in, coming back to the center. And then just swapping over, your right hand goes onto the navel, the left hand slides to the waist. Breathing in, lengthen the body. And breathing out, turn the entire body to the left. Looking over the left shoulder. And then coming back to the center. Hands together at the heart center. Just gaze at the tip of the fingers. And then we're going to bend the knees to come to a seated position. Legs out in front. And just take the flesh out from underneath you. If you've got any back issues, you can always hug a cushion into you to lift the body up to come forward. That's always an option. Otherwise, just extend the heels and slide the hands down the shins, but always feel that you're leading with your chest until you're relaxed and then just come forward. So forward bend, calming for the nervous system. If your arms are long and you want to hold your big toes, then that's fine. But otherwise, just hold your shins, whatever works for you. here, the back of the neck is what I call long. So blood is able to get into the head. So again, from a nervous system point of view, it kind of reconnects blood to the head, especially on a day like today as well. It's just as I said, common for the nervous system. Vagus nerve is engaged because the chin's to the chest. And then just very, very gently slide the hands up the legs. And then we're going to do a restorative pose for the lower back. This is not the best thing to do it on, but you're I wanted to sort of check. You're almost lying with your hips on the bolster. This is too high, but you're almost lying with your hips on the bolster.
On this one.
No, don't worry, I don't have that one. I know you've got two there, but just on your hips and just opening the arms. I mean, you can have your legs stretched out, that might be a little bit uncomfortable. I'd have the knees bent, arms out. And just relax. With your hips slightly lifted, there's a very subtle kind of blood coming back to the heart, depending on how high your support is, of course. So again, restful. As I said, if you want to straighten your legs out, then feel that you can do that, but I quite like to have my legs, my knees bent. I think that's more restful, particularly if you've got lower back issues. Arms are up and hands up, but again, if you feel more comfortable with your arms down, then do, and if you feel more comfortable with your hands on your tummy, then do. And bring your focus, your attention to the perineum, which is almost like the base chakra. And as you breathe in mentally, say so as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. So as you breathe in, focus at the base chakra, and hum as you breathe out. And a couple of times so and hum. And then just letting the attention move slightly higher up to the space, the next chakra up, sort of sacral chakra, between the navel and the perineum. And again, rest your attention here. It's the chakra connecting into the kidneys, the elements of water, the flow of life. So as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. So, and then hum. And then your attention, your focus just moves slightly up to behind the navel, the Manipura chakra, these coming towards almost the solar plexus area. So as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. Connected to transformation of food, but also our life experience. It's our power center. Connects to all our digestive enzymes. Then just let the attention move higher still to behind the heart, the chest. So as we breathe in, and hum as we breathe out. So the heart has a lot of work on it because it is a centre for our physical being, our physical needs, but it also starts to connect into our emotional needs. And it's connected to the element of air and the sense of touch through our hands, the air drifting through our fingers, so healing hands. In some traditions it's a colour pink or green, but there are other kind of Ayurvedic or Vedic traditions where I think the heart is light blue as well, reflecting like the air colour. So different colours for different traditions. And then just very gently let the focus come up to the throat area, thyroid and parathyroid glands here. So as you breathe in, and as you breathe out. So in and out. So the thyroid and the parathyroid are part of our metabolic control. The thyroid connects into the adrenals by the kidneys, the kidneys. So connected very much to sort of stress and exhaustion. And then you just let your mind drift up to the forehead, third eye, so, and you breathe in and hum as you breathe out. And this third eye connects to the pineal and the pituitary glands, so these are like the master control glands, often get a bit frazzled. So the upper from the heart is the air, but then the next three, the throat, the third eye, and the next chakra at the top of the head, all connect into the element of ether. And just let your attention come to settle on the top of the head, which is the crown chakra, the Sahasrara chakra. And here, just really everything. It's where we connect to the outside world. The outside, the realization that the world's bigger than us, it's not just us. It's almost like a giant cake, the world, and we're just a little crumb of it, but we're all part of the same thing. So the colour here could be white or gold, silver. Some people split it down and say gold on the right side, warm the sun and the moon, the silver on the left side, it's like a white and gold. So as you breathe in, and hum as you breathe out. And then let the so and the hum breath focus drift away. You might like to have a thought for the day, for yourself, someone close to you, maybe someone who's travelling. Doesn't matter. Just mentally say, repeat your wish for a couple of times to set the intention. And then let that float away. And come to just rub your hands together, enough to generate a little bit of heat. And when you feel that you've got some heat, warmth in your hands, just place hands over your eyes, palming, and then just open your eyes to connect you back to where you are. Gently let the light filter in through the fingers. And then just take the hands away. And to come out of this, you might want to remove your bolster, your cushion, by just lifting your feet, lifting your bottom, pressing the feet down, hugging maybe the knees into the chest one more time, and just rolling very gently from side to side. And you can stay there while I read a card or two for the day, or if you want to not stay there, then you're obviously very welcome to roll to the side and come in your own time to a seated position. But if you want to stay there for a card, then please do.